bad week with the passing of Ray Johnston. How's the club, but more importantly, how's Jack holding up?
Yeah, really difficult. A really difficult time. I think we've spoken to Jack, and a few of the players went and visit him, and but it's a really difficult. How do you want to be treated in such a situation? I think the most important thing is he knows that he's got the full support of our football program, our football club, our bigger, wider community. It's a really important time to be with your families. Mandy's mum and Katie's sister are, they're all going through it together, and it's just such a horrible, out of nowhere situation for them. And I think some of us who have been, the Gunston family's been such a big part of Hawthorn for such a long time. We had Mother's Day function not long ago, and Mandy's talking about how Ray was really Jack's rock and all this sort of stuff, and then now you get into these situations where you were having these reflections and discussing it with him, and so it's a difficult time, but that's just, he needs his time to be with his family at the moment.
It's got some perspective, I guess, that he's just pretty right.
Yeah, actually not. Later that day, I had a meeting with one of our younger players, and he was a bit anxious and worried about selection and all those things, and he said, it makes me feel a bit silly that I'm so worked up about getting a game in an AFL team. So it's one of those things that you have to put in its place, and we all go through hard things in our lives, and Jack's turn at the moment, and we wrap our arms around him as best we can and support him to get through it.
Speaking about that with selection and Jack,
just hold on a second, stop that.
Just being a selection with Jack.
No, he won't. No, he won't play this. He won't play this week, and obviously there's a funeral to organise and all those things for next week. So we're not. It's not a performance mindset for him right now. He's in a support his family, be supported himself. That's his headspace, and that's as it should be. So there's no pressure on him from us, or we're just going to keep talking to him and keep the dialogue open and support him in whatever way we can. And at the moment, he doesn't, and we don't think that it's the right thing for him to be playing football. So that'll come in due course.
Does seem some good news on the other side about the skipper back.
Yeah, it is funny. It's just brilliant. It's brilliant to see. I think everyone walks a little bit taller when he's out there, and there's this great feeling, not just because it's Ben McEvoy and he's back and he's the captain of the club, but also what we've seen him go through. And you will have seen little bits and pieces of him doing some strange exercises, trying to strengthen his neck with towels around his head. But it's been and we throw around inspirational for lots of stories, but it's genuinely inspirational how he's gone about it. Early on, he's on an elliptical in a hard neck brace, and then he's doing agility work and running laps with a neck brace with it's been unbelievable watching how he's gone about it. And now we had a medical meeting this week where we discussed, and the fitness coaches are in there, and they said he can come straight back in. He's done so much training and so much work. He doesn't need to play 50% game time. He just can play the whole game. So if you're comfortable, he can come straight back in and play a full game, and that's a great great testament to the work that he's done over a long period of time now.
And how much influence will that be in terms of his leadership, but also the rough with currently where you're at?
Yeah, I think, having a player that's so reliable come back into the side. He's still a human, so he's going to have his own anxieties, and he's going to be, he hasn't played footy for a long time now, so it's going to be great to have him back. And I think having another senior player that you can rely on, who's got some flexibility, who doesn't just raise his own standard, but everyone else around him, he'll be pretty strong on them, and to make sure that everyone is doing their job. And I'll be rapt to see him run out there.
Even though you obviously did so much work while he was rehabbing, is there any sort of VFL at all to get match fit?
It's a good question. I didn't think about it too much. Rob McCartney, our footy manager, was pretty strong. Get him in. So once the medical guys and the S&C guys said he's done all the work, it's not a form thing with him, is it? So you just got to get him into the team, and he'll be really strong. Really looking forward to it.
Go up against a side that's kind of around the same mark as you. How important is it to pinch some of these wins towards the end of the season and particularly build momentum heading into the next game?
Yeah, I don't think it's about Adelaide necessarily. I think for us, we've made some progress in different areas of the game, but we do need to win some games of footy. We want to have a winning culture. We don't want to be a side who isn't capable of winning games. So, we think that Adelaide are producing some really high-level parts of their game as well, different aspects to us, but they're really strong in some areas of the game. But like some other teams that are around that spot, there's some vulnerabilities in different aspects of the game. And for us, when you play against Hawthorn, there's some areas you can get hold of us. And when you play against Adelaide, there'll be some areas that we think that we can get an advantage, and we're certainly trying to do that this week. And very much looking forward for getting out there on Sunday.
Will you let us in on any of those potential vulnerabilities?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Good question, though.
It's clearly seems some positives for some of the youngsters coming through, but sort of losing 5 on the trot, does it get difficult to sort of keep those young guys up?
It's a really good question. I think when you lose some games, sometimes you lose them in the right manner, and I think that we've had a couple of games the last couple, and last week was a strange game with the weather and all that sort of thing, and we didn't handle it as well as they did. But it was a game that was difficult to stomach post-game, and I think it was the first one for a while where it's been a genuine, it's sort of stacked on top of the loss before, and I think, we've got some fans here and they all deserve to see really strong football, and they deserve to see wins and sing the theme song, and it's been a little bit too long since we've had the ability to do that. So certainly getting on the winners list is you're trying to do that every week, but at the moment it probably feels like it's a little bit more important.
Obviously pretty high collision game and a bit in it last week. Is everyone else good to go from that game?
No, we've got a little bit of bad news over the last couple of weeks. So, James Warple is now going to be out for the season. He needs to have surgery on that shoulder. Lockie Bramble pulled up with a stiff back out of the game. We scanned that. He had some bone stress, so he's also going to be out for the season now. Time's sort of running out for Sam Frost. So we're getting to that point of the season where, unfortunately, we're going to lose some players for the longer term, which is far from what we need, but I think every club will start to go through it.
Just speaking on Warple, there's been a bit of speculation about his future and where he plays and those sorts of things other clubs having interest in him. He's obviously had a bit of an up and down year, being in and out a little bit. Are you keen to keep him around?
Yeah, as far as list management goes, he's a contracted player like most of our other guys, and he's an important player right in our perfect age demographic. He's a proven A-grade player at AFL level, and so we'll be, very much. I'm not looking at list management at this time of year. Very much my head's in the week to week, trying to get the best performance out of the team, and he hasn't had the season that he would like, but he's going to be a very, very good AFL player for us in the future, and we're looking forward to seeing his best next season.
How difficult has it been for him to go from being a club champion and right at the forefront of the club to now being in and out of the side and really difficult patching?
Yeah, I'm not. I think he had a bit of form issues, and he was out of form for a bit, and then he sort of came back into the side. He'd worked really hard. Got his confidence back. He had a really good performance, and then he started the game really strongly, and then obviously now he's going to be out for the season. So I think he should take some confidence out of that. He's got the resilience to go out of form and then bring it back and play really good AFL football again off the back of a couple of poorer performances. So I think he should be nice and confident going into next year. Gee.